If you follow any kind of homesteading content, you've heard the Anyway, you've heard the term microfarming, and we're here today to break it down, show you why it's good, why it's bad, and who would be really well suited to be a microfarmer. Microfarming is just what it sounds like. It's farming on a really small scale. I think it's really well suited for two types of people. The first are people that are living in urban environments. I have a family member who lives in New York City, and she had a small community garden right outside of her apartment complex. The other people that I think are really well suited to microfarming are the people that are just starting out, just sticking their toes into the water and saying, hey, how can I grow my own food? How can I provide for my own family and not have a giant expense? I've heard farmers say that, it takes a big farm to lose a lot of money. And if you start small, that's a great way to keep your costs down and see, is this something even for you? Is your soil right? Do you like doing it? And do you get enough benefit out of it to keep doing it? You can start with like raised bed gardening. Hydroponic systems are popular. Aquaponic systems are popular. But basically, it's starting at a very small scale, and that's the best way to get started, period. Start small, and you can grow from there. As you build your market, as you build the crops that you'd like to grow, as you build the beds and amend the soil, your farm can grow in size as you grow in your love for getting back to the land. So the real question becomes, is microfarming sustainable? And the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, but here's why. Simply, we're creating those systems that can take care of us. And for me, that's the definition of sustainable. We're closing loops, growing our food right where we are, reducing those food miles, creating compost that goes back into the soil that reinforces that system. That's the definition of sustainability to me. A really common misconception and question that we get is, Scott, I don't have a lot of acreage to get started. And the truth is, you don't need a lot of acreage to get started. Microfarming is a perfect example of that. Taking wherever you are in your community and being the most productive that you possibly can be. How is that a bad thing? We're reducing food miles. We're creating food-safe areas for ourselves, our families, and our communities. That is resilience. That is sustainability. And anybody that has shopped at a farmer's market or grown their own food knows that the taste is far superior to anything you're buying that's been imported with a lot of food miles. It's about getting back to the land and being as productive as we can be wherever we stand. The other misconception is that we need really big, heavy machinery to get started, and that's not the case either. With microfarming, you can get started building raised beds with just your standard tools that like every house should have anyway, like a drill, some sockets, screws, some lumber. All that stuff's available at a big box store if you don't know a local farmer with a sawmill. We've shown you hand tools time and time again, from the broad fork to the digging fork. All of these tools are ready to go for cheap at a small level. And when you're remediating the soil and making things better and adding that compost to the soil that you have, it really doesn't take very much to have a lot of abundance. Couple that with things like square foot gardening. We don't have to have these large row crops that require spraying and fertilizer and large tractors to cultivate. We can do it all by hand because we're designing similar to the way that nature grows. And when we occupy every area in that garden bed, there's not a lot of room for weeds to take over. On top of that, you have chop and drop. So we're adding more fertility back to that garden bed without needing to till, and making the soil better and better every year through that adding of organic matter. It's really the best system to get started. We're on 250 acres here, and we use those same principles in large-scale agriculture. That's what makes the abundance that we get really amazing to see. It's because we've taken those microfarming principles and applied them to broad scale. But just because you don't have broad scale doesn't mean you can't get started. Another thing that people say is, Scott, I can't feed my family on a small place. And that's because we've been conditioned to see farms as these multi-hundred-acre places. And through, again, techniques like square foot gardening, you would be amazed how much produce you can actually produce. There's lots of examples of families. The one that comes to mind is in Vietnam. It's a 1/4 acre that's been producing enough food for the family for multiples of generations. A lot of gardeners, if we think about garden size, you know, like 40 by 100, that's not a lot of space. And that produces enough food for a family, multiple generations of the family, to have great food for themselves and their friends. It's not like you're just growing this stuff for you. You have, every gardener I know has more food than they know what to do with, and they want to give it away. That's kind of like one of the most rewarding parts about gardening, is you show up to your friend's house, here's some tomatoes, here's some corn, here's some potatoes, whatever it is that you've grown, it's awesome to share. And that doesn't take a lot of space, and it definitely doesn't take a lot of space to get started. And let's say you even don't have enough land to feed your family. It's better to have a little bit, I would say, and kind of reduce those food costs. That money in your pocket that you can spend on other things that otherwise you wouldn't have money to spend on. That's the real savings account, is by reducing those food expenditures and keeping it in your family, keeping that circle going, keeping that sustainability loop that reinforces over time. That's regenerative agriculture. A little bit is better than nothing, and just getting started is the way to have a little bit. And not knowing is no excuse for not getting started. We've got a lot of free resources. Click the link in the description. We want you to be successful. We want you to get started. We're here to help you out any way that we can. Come see us in person, download the free resources. You can't afford to miss out on this information that we're just giving away. SustainableHomestead.com. Thanks for watching.